So, like I said, man, I don't want no problem with you, yo. And I'm really being a man to you right now, talking to you. You hear me? Because the only way I know how to react is in rage, yo. And that's from my upbringing. That's from me not having a dad in my life. See what I'm saying? So, I got a lot of pain that I deal with. You see what I'm saying? And the only way I know how to deal with it is to release it on people. And I'm learning how to change, my brother. You should be able to listen to me and hear it in my voice, yo, how sincere I am when I'm talking to you right now. I'm changing my life for the kids, yo. I promise.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. It's certified. Yesterday's price is not today's price. You know, I always say yesterday's price is not today's price. And that's because you're worth more. You know, you deserve more. That's why yesterday's price is not today's price. Just believe in yourself because we believe in you. We standing here right with you, hoping that you succeed as well. To say is that I find it really strange. I never show my pictures or I never send my audio to anyone. This is the first time I'm doing this. The reason being, you have opened up to me. That's the only reason I'm sending you this audio clip. Because I find this really, really strange. But people do anything for money. There are only very few people, maybe 10%, who do not give too much importance to money. And that depends especially on their upbringing and what values they have in life. If people have values and if people have principles in life, they will definitely be a better person. They wouldn't be scheming, they wouldn't defraud, they wouldn't cheat, they wouldn't tell lies.
7, aka Siete, aka Good News, aka Bad News, aka The Beast from the East, aka Razor, aka Please Don't Ever Disrespect Me, aka Mr. No Felonies.
Racism. We are not cured of, clearly, and it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say nigger in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
Our leaders are not leaders. They are leading us to the abyss. I am the new leader. We are led by tyrants. We are being led by pirates. We are being led by chauvinists. And we are being led by cowards. Welcome to No Felonies. I am your gracious host, Mr. No Felonies. Before I begin, I would like to give a big shout out to my mother, Lula Lee, aka Ruth. Thanks for always being there for me. I love you. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe to become a part of the No Felonies movement. Our mission is to spread knowledge to the youth by delivering a powerful message about the importance of avoiding a felony on one's record. For any young guy or young girl out there watching, I need you to think before you act. Your life may depend on it. You only get one life. Ain't no remix on it. Make positive decisions, stay on the right path, and stay out of trouble. Go to nofelonies.com to support the movement. That's nofelonies with an S.com. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? We back better live than ever. I'm taking you behind the veils, pulling the curtains back. I'm here to put some paint where it ain't. I'm the realest on YouTube. Ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. It's a movement over here. It's about these kids. I'm speaking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to all 7th through 12th graders, so listen up closely. Y'all know, before I start each show, I gotta give a shout out to my haters. No, I can't forget y'all haters. Shout out to my haters, all my haters on the left. You know, shout out to all my haters on the right, man. You know, I cannot forget about you haters in the middle. No, I gotta shout y'all out. Y'all are the motivation, man. Haters. Y'all are the motivation. I'm screaming no felonies over here. You dig? No felonies. That's what we screaming. But check this out. Shout out to the people who love me. I love you too. Love is love. Y'all know who y'all are. I love you. Listen, man. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. I can feed you the knowledge, but I can't make you think. It's like the Titanic. If you lacking, you sink. So if you get thirsty, I suggest that you drink. The phrase for each day: your teenage years dictate your future. I repeat, your teenage years dictate your future. The things that you do as a teen can have an astounding impact on your adult life. I drop new videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays now. Rock with your boy. Rock with your boy. No felonies. Yeah. Get up in here, man. The new leader is here. The new teacher is here. You see what I'm saying? Calling all 7th through 12th graders. I need y'all to get up in here, man. Call all your peoples, man. Call your cousin, your nephews, all 7th through 12th graders, man. Get up in here, man. You see what I'm saying? Get up in here, 7th through 12th graders. That's what we want. All 7th through 12th graders. The teacher is coming. I repeat, the teacher is coming. You know, check this out, Trailblazers. It's Saturday, right? I'm doing this video for Wednesday. I just dropped the video today, which is about the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? But y'all ain't gonna see this until Wednesday. But I'm doing this Saturday, the same day, 4 days before it dropped, Trailblazers. That's what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, Trailblazers. Be coming, man. Mr. No Felonies is here, man, in the building. One time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we here, man. Back better live than ever. Calling all 7th through 12th graders. You see what I'm saying? See, Trailblazers, I'm doing this Saturday. The pineal gland video dropped today, right? This video don't come out until Wednesday, but I'm doing it right now. 3-4 days ahead, man. That's how Mr. No Felonies get down, man. We don't wait, man. See what I'm saying? We don't wait. We ain't playing no games around here, man. all 7th through 12th graders. You see what I'm saying? Before I start, y'all all know I got to give a shout out to the Most High. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for blessing me. Thank you for watching over me. Thank you for blowing breath in my lungs so I can teach these 7th through 12th graders to stay out of trouble. So they cannot get a felony. Say they do not go to jail. I am the sacrificial lamb, Lord. You know I am. And all you out there 7th through 12th graders, don't get on the wrong path. Stay on the right path. You see what I'm saying? No felonies. That's what we doing over here. I'm here for y'all. I'm putting my life on the line for y'all. Because you know what? Let me say this. This is a non-ending thing that's going on with Mr. No Felonies. Because every year, somebody from the 12th grade is graduating. And then every year, somebody from the 6th grade is graduating into the 7th grade, which is my territory, 7th through 12th. This is a long-lasting thing, man. This is a forever until I ain't breathing no more, man. 7th through 12th graders. You dig what I'm saying, Mr. No Felonies, man? I'm here. I'm here for y'all. I'm here to make everything right for y'all so y'all ain't got to go down the path that I went through. You see what I'm saying? Now check this out, Trailblazers. You know, today is Saturday. Like I said, man, on YouTube, a lot of negativity. That's all on YouTube is negativity, man. That's it. That's all that. 90% of YouTube is negativity, man. We ain't doing that, man. Check this out, right? So, y'all know that Kendrick Lamar just went at J. Cole and he went at, I think, Drake, right? Drake just came back with a diss with Tupac and Snoop on the hook, right? About 30 minutes ago, Kanye West just got into the beef. Kanye West just put out a diss track against Drake and J. Cole. You see what I'm saying, Trailblazers? Now think about this. Oh, also let me say this. Chris Brown just dissed Quavo. Chris Brown got a song out dissing Quavo. A lot of things is going on in the industry, Trailblazers. Let me just say this. You would think everybody who I named, probably multi-millionaires. You say to yourself, man, why would they even be trying to get into any trouble, man? They already done made it. See what I'm saying? That's when the devil come in, man. The devil always trying to pull you back, man. Always trying to pull you back to make you go and risk it all, to throw it all away. See what I'm saying? Y'all got to be smart. I know everybody tuning in to the this is from this person, the disses from that person. Man, we don't do that over here, man. Hey, when we see it, and we dip it. We don't even stand that round, man. A lot of people happy, man. Everybody, yeah. Man, everybody hyped about it, man, except for Mr. No Felonies, man. Because what we do here is we don't want nobody to get no felonies. 7th through 12th graders, as well as all other individuals in the world. The channel was about 7th through 12th graders, but the message is for everybody in the world. Kanye West, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Quavo, Chris Brown, Drake, Rick Ross, Drake beefing with Rick Ross. Like, it's a lot going on, man. I don't know if it's the heat, you know, the summertime weather coming. Everybody, you know, got all this frustration built up, and now everybody seem like they all going at each other, man. They all millionaires, man. For what? For what? For a bad ending that can end up maybe costing one of them their lives, or some of them their lives, or maybe they might get a felony and go to prison for the rest of their lives. See what I'm saying? We ain't doing that over here, man. We ain't doing that over here, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. We smart over here. All that negativity, we don't want it, man. I know I don't want it. I don't want it nowhere around me, man. You dig what I'm saying? So Trailblazers, I'm going to say this. The negativity is going to come your way throughout your life. It depends on how you going to handle the situation. Are you going to feed into the negativity? Or are you going to be the smarter person and say, you know what? I got too much to lose. See what I'm saying? Like me, Trailblazers, it's even hard for me. That's why I got to open up my third eye, my pineal gland, and I got to walk away. You know, because the people who want me to throw it all away, they have nothing. They can't even stand in my shoes. They wish they could be where I am. And that's where the hate comes in, because they know they can't even get where I'm at. And they know where I'm going. So what do they try to do, Trailblazers? They try to throw little rocks to get me off my square, to get Mr. No Felonies upset. They want Mr. No Felonies to catch a felony. That's what all the haters want. But see, I'm smarter than them, Trailblazers. I know what I got to do. I got to duck, maneuver, and dodge away from the suckers and the haters. And I'm going to tell y'all like this, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. It comes a point in time in your life where you got to make a choice. I just hope that you choose the right choice and don't go down the wrong road. You see what I'm saying? Like Mr. No Felonies did. But I done changed my life. I don't want no more felonies. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach y'all. I am the teacher. I am the new leader. Ain't nobody talking like this on YouTube. All they talking about is this person going at that person. Y'all know it. Y'all see it. It's running the YouTube right now. That's why my channel is going to take a little minute for me to get where I got to get, because I ain't with the negativity. See, the negativity, everybody loves the negativity, so they all go to it. That's how they channels grow real fast, because it's the negativity. Mr. No Felonies, I got God in my life. So no matter how long it take, it ain't about the rush, man. Like Nip said, it's a marathon. It ain't no race. It's a marathon. So I know my channel is going to take a little minute for me to get up there, because I ain't talking about no negativity. Only thing I'm talking about is positivity, to keep you 7th through 12th graders out of trouble. Like I said, every year somebody in the 12th grade is graduating, going to college or going wherever they're doing. And then somebody in the 6th grade is going to be in the 7th grade. That's my target, 7th through 12th graders. And I'm going to be here with y'all. And I hope that y'all be here with me, because I'm trying to guide you to the righteousness. I'm trying to get y'all to have God in your life. Stop worrying about the devil and all this negative, man. You get God in your life, that's all you really need. I promise you, He going to make things a whole lot better. You see what I'm saying? He'll make things a whole lot better. I promise you, because I am a witness to that, because He has taken care of me. And you see where I'm at, Trailblazers, and I'm still doing it. I'm still going. You know, for the haters, man. The haters made me, I ain't even want to do this channel, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. It was the haters. I had so much hate that I said, yeah, I'm on the right path. The more hate I get, the more motivation. So all you haters, all you hundreds, thousands, millions, however many of y'all it is, come on, bring it. Come on and bring it, man. You see me, you see what I'm doing. Y'all can't stop nothing. The only thing you can stop is what you doing. You can't stop nothing over here what Mr. No Felonies is doing. You dig? So Trailblazers, stay smart. Don't fall into the negativity. You see what I'm saying? One kid at a time, man. One kid at a time. Yeah, Trailblazers. One kid at a time. You see what I'm saying? Get God in your life. That's what you need. You get God in your life, everything else will work itself out, Trailblazers. I'm gone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is a moment I dreamed of. I didn't think it would happen so fast, honestly, but I'm just glad that I'm able to be a part of this team is so special. And it's just a testament to what can happen if you follow your dreams. So I'm just here living proof of that.
Yeah. Trailblazers and Blazerettes. You know the boy is coming, man. He coming in the building, man. That's what we do. You know the boy, man. He a problem. No felonies. You dig what I'm saying? In the building, man. You dig? Yeah, he in the building. Trailblazers and Blazerettes. Yeah, Mr. No Felonies is in the building, man. Screaming no felonies over here, man. See what I'm saying? That's what we doing. Get this down, man. See what I'm saying? Yeah. We got another one. Yeah. You see what we doing. I'm trying to get everything right, Trailblazers. Give me a second. You know, I gotta make sure everything is looking official over here like a referee with a whistle, man, because that's what we doing. We ain't even playing over here with them. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to get right. Okay. Now here we go. You seen the title. The effects of growing up as a single parent. Very, very powerful, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. The majority of young mothers do not stay on AFDC. The study of 300 families begun by teenage mothers showed that mothers were more likely to receive public assistance during the first 5 years of when their child was born. After the 5-year mark, the number of young women who went off welfare increased sharply. Some would turn to public assistance again, but they left it when their circumstances permitted. Furstenberg and his colleagues concluded that chronic dependency on welfare was exceptional rather than the rules among these multi-generational families. The children of teenage mothers. What about the children of the adolescent mother? The study reveals that these youngsters experience a range of outcomes as they become teenagers themselves. But too often the environmental factors that lead their mothers to early parenthood can have the same effect on their offspring. Dr. Daniel Fetterman observed that many children of adolescent parents have social and development handicaps that can be detected in their first years. Their frequency are less healthier than children of older married parents. Their school performance is less favorable, and their daughters of teenage mothers disappropriately are very likely to become adolescent mothers themselves. Although research evidence is not extensive, the studies that do exist indicate that the age of a mother at the birth of her child can affect the child's intelligence as measured on standardized tests and his or her academic achievements. In both sexes at small ages and differences, cognitive functions appear consistently. What accounts for these differences? As the NRA panels report, adolescent mothers tend to be poor and less educated. As a result, their children are more adapted to grow up in disadvantaged neighborhoods, to attend low-quality schools, and to experience more family stress and instability. The biggest factor is the extent of the quality of their mother's education. According to one study, children's IQ score declined by approximately 1 point for every year schooling their mother does not complete. Studies found that children of teenage mothers had an average score of at age 4 or 5, but in their adolescent years, their record in school was described by researchers as dismissal. Some had already dropped out of school. Wow. In addition to problems, cognitive development, the offsprings of teenage parents grow up with more social impairments such as poor anger control, fearfulness, and feeling of infertility. They also may demonstrate mild behavior disorders such as rebelliousness, aggression, and impulsiveness. The study reported that adolescent children of teenage mothers exhibited a relatively high degree of school behavior problems and were more frequently expelled. 21% of these children had stolen something of significant value, and 28% had been picked up by the police for questioning. Substance abuse and early sexual activity were also among these youngsters. Interviewing these families 20 years later, the doctor and his colleagues found that 1/3 of adolescent daughters of teenage mothers in the study had become pregnant before the age of 19. Wow. I'm going to say that again. Interviewing these families 20 years later, the doctor and his colleague found that 1/3 of adolescent daughters of the teenage mothers in the studies had become pregnant before the age of 19. So what that's saying is that if your mother was a single parent, it's saying, man, most likely by the age of 19, you're going to have a baby at the age of 19, and you may not even be with the father, man. In volume 2 of Risk in the Future, Sandra L. Hofford of the Urban Institute concluded that much of the effect a teen's parent has on a child's social intellect development is indirect. She found, for example, that the understate family structure that often categorized teenage parenthoods may be especially negative effects on the children as they reach adolescence. The mothering skills of the teenage girl depends heavily on her family situation, education, the ability to support systems, her experiences, and her knowledge of childbearing. Investigators point out the widespread assumption that teenagers automatically make poor parents is too simplistic and not supported by research. Studies in this area begin in the 1990s and are not extinct. But thus far, few differences has been found between the mothering style of teenage and older women. Adolescent mothers tend to talk less to their children, which may be related to lower cognitive score of their preschoolers. Although findings are so far incomplete and not clear, it appears that the coincidence of learning disabilities, delinquencies, and child abuse in teenage families is related not so much to the age of the parent, but to the family's insecurity and the social economic factors. Many of the same elements that lead many teenagers to early sexual activity and early childbearing outside of marriage also have a significant effect on their offspring. Poverty, the quality of the mother's education, and the family size of solitude, rather than the mother's age, play the more direct negative role in teenage families. Research also shows that economic dependence and early childbearing outside of marriage are not always repeated through the generations. A wide diversity of outcomes among the women and children is demonstrated in a Baltimore study. Today, many of those adolescent mothers are finding routes to social and economic recovery of their children. Some appear to be headed for productive childhood. So there is a positive, but there still is a negative, so which is good. It's a positive that they're turning around. The recent completion of a 20-year follow-up, these families showed that some of the children are catching up by finishing high school or getting jobs just a little later than the children of women who delayed childbearing. The future of the children of the adolescent mother is considerable concern to observers who believe that it is associated with early sexual experiences and pregnancy in girls with antisocial behavior in boys. There's considerable agreement in this country about the need to reduce the indecency of adolescent pregnancy, although those who disagree with the methods to reduce it are very visible and vocal and often generate a lot of controversy. Polls by the Lewis Harris organization in 1995 and 1998 that demonstrated that 85% of Americans want sex education taught in the public schools. And they should teach it in school. That's another thing they don't teach in school. Sex education, because you want to teach the kids about practicing safe sex so they don't get pregnant, man. It's another thing bad about our school system. They ain't teaching our kids, man. I don't know I don't know what they doing. According to a 1985 poll, 67% would support laws requiring schools to establish links with family planning clinics to where teens could go to obtain contraceptives, and 78% thought television should feature birth control advertising. Since the early 1970s, the number and types of programs aimed at helping young women and men avoid unintended pregnancies and birth has increased substantially. Some programs concern on increasing teenagers' knowledge of human reproduction, family relationships, and decision making. Some offer family planning services, and some are designed to improve youngsters' education and job opportunity. Public opinion polls have consistently shown that majorities of Americans believe that children should be taught about reproduction in schools so they can make informed decisions about their own sexual behaviors. In response, states have become more supportive, such as a program. A 1982 survey of 179 major city schools districts found that 3/4 provided some sex education in junior and senior high school, and 2/3 provided it in elementary school. They shouldn't even be talking about it in elementary school, but then again, these kids now, y'all are more advanced now. Y'all doing a lot in 6th and 7th grade than I was doing. On the negative side, sex education, of course, tends to be shorter and fewer than 10 hours and to concentrate on the psychological of sex. Now, all students take the courses. In elementary and junior high grades, only a small number of these classes discuss contraceptive methods. Programs in senior high schools are broader, and 3/4 of them cover family planning, contraceptive methods, and abortion. The obstacle to sex education are many. The Allen Gutterman Institute surveyed secondary public school teachers who were entrusted with sex education courses. When asked about what they regarded as obstacles to teaching the subject, they mentioned the difficulty of changing students' ideas about sex and pregnancy, about school boards with Victorian attitudes, lack of support from departments, had inadequate funding and weak support from parents and the community, often because adults are not well informed about sexual matters. A variety of private community-based groups such as the YWCA, churches, the Scouts, and the Salvation Army also sponsor sex education courses. One of more sexual privately funded programs was a cooperative effort between Johns Hopkins University of Medicine and the Baltimore City Department of Education designed to prevent pregnancy among urban teenagers. The self-centered program served as a senior high school and a junior high school that led a combination enrollment of 1,700. Many of the students were drawn from an inner city neighborhood that contained low cost and public housing. Baseline questionnaires revealed a high level of sexual activity among the students. The programs including classroom presentations, educations, and counseling services provided in schools and education, counseling, and medical service in a nearby storefront. Clinics open only to students from the two schools. A full-time social worker and a nurse practitioner were available in each school and after school at the clinic. The project was unusual in that it combined service and research and used 2 other city schools as control for evaluating the program. Over a period of 3 school years, the self-centered project achieved many of its goals. It improved the level of students' knowledge of contraceptive and pregnancy risks. It significantly increased the use of clinics and the use of contraceptive methods among teenagers already sexually active, and it was able to draw males into the program. One particular interest were 2 results. One student exposed to the project for all 3 years postponed their first intercourse experience in an average of 7 months, and 2 contraceptives use increased among all age groups attending self-centered programs, particularly among students who participated for 3 years. The active use of storefront clinics and the interest of contraceptics were underscored where the pregnancy rate for the self-center were compared with those of 2 controlled schools. After 28 months, pregnancies in controlled schools increased by 58%. In the self-centered programs, pregnancy dropped by 30%. While in change in the age at the first intercourse are not largely, they are substantial enough in the direction to delay to refute charges that excel to such services as those provided by programs encourages early sexual activities. The program's ability to affect any further change may well have been limited by the brevity of the project and the age of the student when they were first reached. The average expense for the comprehension programs was $122 per student. The class lecture costs $556 presentation per student, who use all available service, and cost the program about $546 each. The self-centered program and experiment program that ran from 1981 to 1984, although no longer exists, some schools now have school-based clinics. The clinics do not provide contraceptives, but they do refer students to local family centers. The evaluation component of the self-centered program clearly demonstrates the effect of a comprehensive pregnancy prevent program on behavior. There is considerable anxiety among some of the segments the U.S. society, such as programs of their components might encourage early sexual activity among adolescents. Others question the effectiveness of family life sex education programs in promoting responsible contraceptive among teenagers who are already sexually active. Give me 1 second, Trailblazers, because I need something to drink. You know me. I'm just doing this. You know, let me get on over here and get me something real quick, because you know what I'm doing over here. Mr. No Felonies, I'm doing it. You know? Yeah, let me just take a break real quick, Trailblazers. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm doing, right? Energy drink. No alcohol. No marijuana, no more weed, none of that. I don't do none of that no more, Trailblazers. Mr. No Felonies is like Sober 7 over here. Yeah. Beautiful. Now let me continue. The Johns Hopkins Pregnancy Prevention Program provides strong evidence that comprehensive services can help adolescents to postpone sexual activity, and if they are already sexual experienced, to avoid pregnancy. In addition, this program demonstrates that such a service does not lead to increased sexual activities. Other studies also found that no link between sex education courses and an increase in sexual activity. Although not clear-cut in the methodology as self-centered program, these studies do indicate that teenagers who were already sexually active are somewhat more adapted to use contraceptives and are less likely to become pregnant if they receive some type of education. According to Dr. Fetterman, the expense of preventing pregnancy is dwarfed by expense of experiencing it. The cost of sexual education and family life programs in particular are very low, dramatically so compared with the amount of money needed to support a teen mother and her child for just 1 year.
The NRC study panel on teenage pregnancy found that the federal share of supporting a young family was $18,710 in 1979. In contrast, the average person per student cost in the classroom, such education lectures in the state of Illinois became a $10 a year, similar to the Baltimore cost. And many families began by teenage pregnancies. Annually, the cost public billions of dollars. As noted earlier in this chapter, the United States spent a total of $19.27 billion on these families. That figure include both administrative costs, direct payments to providers of the AFDC, Medicaid, food stamps. It is not included the cost of public support service such as foster care, housing supplements, or special education. A young woman who had a baby in 1987 and who will receive welfare for about 8 years will cost the public approximately $38,700, and that was in 1987, and we're now in 2024. Delaying such birth marked reduce such public outlays. Many people feel that the best way to reduce the number of teen pregnancy is to persuade adolescents not to have sexual intercourse, and that is 100%. Trailblazers and blazerettes, I will say don't have sex until you're married, or at least until you're in college. It ain't worth it right now. You got all your time in your life to have sex. That should be the last thing on your mind. You need to focus on your dreams and aspirations, not sex. Reasonable people agree that sexual intercourse in younger teen years benefits no one. The problem is determining which of the varieties influencing onset of sexual behaviors are open to change. The 1981 title XX Adolescent Family Life Act, which replaced earlier legislation for adolescent health care and pregnancy prevention services, was designed to put added emphasis on preventing early sexual intercourse. The goal is a sensible one. The issue is how to achieve it. In 1981, Act's less emphasis was to give birth control services. Instead, the legislation sought to encourage, primarily chastise by promoting strong family values. It also encourages the value of adopting as an alternative to teen childbearing. And the risk of future, the NRC study panel reported that critics of the Family Life program declared its approach and its appropriately moralistic. The American Civil Liberties Union has brought suit against the Title XX on a bias that it represents a mixing of church and state. Although some observers believe sex education programs that promote personal responsibility may help some adolescents postpone intercourse, others feel that a large proportion of teenagers will continue to become sexually active. Experienced researchers are not hopeful that change in sexual behavior will occur, especially in an environment in which sex and sexiness are portrayed as important attributes in television shows, movies, popular magazines, newspapers, and advertising. American teenagers seem to have inherited the worst of all possible worlds regarding their exposures to messages about sex. Movies, music, radio, TV tell them that sex is romantic, exciting, tantalizing. Premature sex and cohabitation are visible ways of life among the adults they see and hear about. Yet at the same time, young people get the message good girls should say no. Almost nothing that they see or hear about sex inform them about contraceptive or the importance of avoiding pregnancy. The study concluded by noting that countries concentrating preventing teen pregnancy in the United States concentrates on preventing teen sex. And that is why Europe is more successful in reducing the number of adolescent pregnancies. So it says that Europe their rate compared to the United States is much lower, because they're putting it all in the schools. They're telling all the kids, about it. And the schools here in America should do the same as well. But they don't, though. They want to have gym and stuff like that. You need sex and credit, and DUI, a class about DUIs. Like, our school system is terrible. Terrible. That's why we have the lowest rate in the world. All the money we got here, but our school system is downhill. Muerto, no good. For sexually active teenagers who want to use birth control, family planning services are available in almost every large community. Providers include state and city public health departments, school-based clinics, local hospitals, privately funded clinics, and private physicians. Some provide a complete range of services from information to abortions. Most centers refer patients wanting abortions or sterilization services to hospitals or doctors. In 1981, more than 5 million teenagers were at risk of an unintended pregnancy. Of the 57% who received family planning services that year, some 30% chose public or private clinics and 21% went to private doctors. Contraceptive services are available if adolescents make an effort to find them. What is needed are ways to strengthen teenagers' motivation to use them. The experience of the European countries demonstrates that adolescents can use contraceptive effectively. Unfortunately, in this country, several factors hinder contraceptive use. Factors that are not a problem in the United Kingdom, France, Sweden, or the Netherlands. They are misunderstanding of the benefits and the risks of oral contraceptives, a highly visible fundamental religious that is anti-sexual, racism, and widespread deep poverty. Although religiousness and sexual conversation does not always go hand in hand, in the United States, these two categories are often closely linked. In the study of teenage pregnancy and childbearing in 36 nations, the research found that in this country, a higher proportion of the population attends religious service and believes God is the importance of their lives. Fundamentalist groups in the United States, which often hold very conservative views on sexual behaviors, are very both extremely visible and focal. The nature of the intense religious feeling in this country tend to introduce more emotional into public discussions about providing reproductive health services to teens. More is seen in other countries. Let me take a break, man. Let me take a break. I'm spitting the knowledge. Ain't nobody talking like that. You see I'm spitting the knowledge, trailblazers and blazerettes. And this is for you blazerettes and you trailblazers. It is prevalent in depth. The poverty that exists in this country is almost unknown. The industrialized countries of Europe and the United States, 1 of every 5 children lives in poverty. 3 out of every 4 black children and 1 of every 4 white children experience poverty by the age of 10. Many of them are poor for at least 4 years. The 37-country study found that in nations with more equitable distribution of family income, fewer adolescents became pregnant. Teenagers who have known only poverty and see no hope of escaping are not likely to feel that they are jeopardizing a rosy future by having a child. With little chance of achieving a sense of satisfaction through work or unstable and sometimes violent family relationships, adolescents living in poverty often see childbearing as a way to achieve something of their own. Wow. I'm gonna say that again, trailblazers and blazerettes. with little chance of achieving a self of satisfaction through work of unstable and sometimes violent family relationships, adolescents living in poverty often see childbearing as a way to achieve something of their own. Consciously or unconsciously, they are adapt to view a baby as a source of love and satisfaction they do not find elsewhere. So what they're saying is that some adolescents have a baby because they're not getting love from their parent or anybody in the house. So they figure having a baby will be the source of the love and satisfaction where they can't find that love anywhere else. So they'll have a baby to get the love from the baby, not knowing that if you do that, most likely the mother and that child are going to maybe be in poverty. So that's the wrong thing to do, to have a baby just to get some love. Wait until you get situated in life, and then you have a baby. You got all the time in the world. Don't throw your life away just having a baby, because that's going to make your life harder, Blazerettes and Trailblazers. In some social outcomes, having a baby may represent many things to a young man and a young woman. A way to demonstrate sexual competency and fertility, a sign of adulthood, or a way of relieving the constant stress of being poor and helpless. When there is no hope of breaking the pattern, the generations of poverty, there is little motivation to prevent a pregnancy. Many of these teens may not actively want to have a baby, but then may simply let it happen because they see little reason to prevent it. As noted, despite the evidence that birth control pills are a safe and effective method for most women, many girls avoiding using them because of misinformation and the myths regarding their safety and possible side effects until their question about relationships between oral contraceptive and health and fertilities are answered. Many young women will continue to avoid using this effective method. What these teenagers don't understand is that the morality risk associated with adolescent childbirth is greater than the morality risk associated with the pill. Besides, oral contraceptive requires a prescription, a visit to a clinic or a private physician for a pelvic examination and a pap smear, and funds to renew the prescription every month, conditions that, while not most unsurmountable, may be enough to discourage an adolescent from using this effective form of contraceptive. In countries where birth control has a high priority, family planning services and birth control methods are subsidizable, so the question of cost does not prevent their use. Also, a prescription may not be required for oral contraceptive. Every form of contraceptive currently available requires some planning and research. Find the reason many teenagers give for not using contraceptives is that they did not expect to have intercourse. Other adolescents may be ready to admit to themselves that they are sexually active. Furthermore, each method of birth control currently available in this country has built-in disadvantages. For example, the IUD might have been considered feasible as a contraceptive for adolescents because once inserted, it needs little attention, but because the device has been associated with pelvic inflammation, disease, and infertility among women who have more than one sexual partner, manufacturer, and epidermologists now recommend this method be limited to women who have completed their family and are in stable, long-term relationships. Methods that might be useful for adolescents are not available in this country, although North Planet is expected to become available. Foams and condoms require no prescription but must be used constantly and carefully to be effective. Diagrams of cervical caps require instructions in their use, have substantial failure rates if not used correctly, and are often used as interpretive and messy. With virtual all methods, younger women tend to experience higher rate of failure. In fact, women under the age of 22 are twice as likely as women 30 and older to have an unintended pregnancy while using a contraceptive. The contraceptive available in the United States today are not very well appropriate for the teenagers whose sexual activity is sporadic and often unanticipated. Adolescent pregnancies could be significantly reduced if a safety-regulated, inexpensive, non-physical dependent contraceptive were developed for the use at the end of the cycle which intercourse occurs, thereby eliminating the need to plan ahead. He adds, however, that such a method would be considered abortionate are not currently eligible for federal research and development support. This is very powerful, trailblazers and blazerettes. Don't have no kids. That's the best thing I can tell you, because if you do, your life is going to be so hard that you might not even be able to fulfill your dreams. You might can't go from A to B, A to Z, because you got your kid. Now you got to find somebody to watch them. You can't go to work. You can't go to school. Just mess your whole life up. Wait until you're about 30 years old to have a kid. Best thing I can tell you. Now let's continue. Get right. See, I'm trying to get right, trailblazers. See what I'm saying? As many studies have shown, almost half the teenagers in this country who became pregnant each year had an abortion. The health risks associated with an early legal abortion are no greater for a teenager than they are for an adult woman. In most instances, it is less risky. But the NRA panel found that in the states where parents' consent is required, an increasing percentage of adolescent abortions are being delayed, often because the teenager is appealing to the courts for a judicial bypass. Some states do not require parental consent, but the local providers of abortion services do. If the abortion is delayed until the second trimester, the risk to the girl's health increases. Abortions are performed at 2,680 clinics and hospitals in the United States, with metropolitan areas offering the greatest access such as services. In 1985, 30% of the U.S. women of reproductive age lived in countries that had no abortion services at all, and 43% lived where no major facilities performed abortions. The commitment of many European countries to contraceptive services for teenagers is strongly connected to the desire of those countries to reduce the number of abortions among young women. Originally, conservative physicians group in France and the Netherlands were reluctant to endorse the idea of birth control for adolescents, but they recognized the value of preventative services when it became clear that the alternative would be a rise in teenage abortions. The 1975 law made abortions legal in Sweden also establishes a bias for the system offering contraceptive services to a direct acknowledgement by the government that the need for abortions could be reduced by making effective birth control measures readily available. This attitude of these countries is opposite of the views held by some groups and influential individuals in the United States that the ability of contraceptive services encourages premarital sex and abortion. Some communities and agencies develop initiative approaches to adversing adolescent pregnancies. These include programs that teach assertiveness and decision-making, strength communication between parents and child, improving schools, performances, enhance teenagers' views of the future, and increase their job opportunities. Programs that seek improved life options for young people are based on assumptions that adolescents who have a realistic goal and plan for reaching them is less likely to early childbearing to interfere with those plans. Most of the current programs are small and experimental. However, clear-cut results are not yet available. Some efforts are also underway to raise consciousness of media executive and helps them be more aware of possible effects on the young of sexual attitudes portrayed on television, such as media projects aims to encourage more responsibility approach the sexual contents of program. More and more professionals and advocacy groups believe that television portrays a non-marital sexual and exploitation violent sex may contribute significantly to attitudes about sex. Despite the growth concerns among professionals and parent network executives remain reluctant to include these same programs and any mention of contraceptive or abortion for the fear of offending the public. In marked contrast, news programs, talk shows deal boldly with sexual issues, apparently without losing many viewers. Noticeable missing from daily TV are programs that portray sexuality in a responsive way as a part of stable long-term relationship. Also missing is national advertisement for over-the-counter contraceptives such as spermicides and condoms. Non-prescription contraceptives are widely in the media. Adolescents in those countries have a greater awareness of birth control methods and feel that contraceptives are easily accessible, although there is no hard evidence that such advertising actually increased contraceptive use among teens. Studies show that teen pregnancy rates are lower in countries that appear to be less ambient about sex. Improving reproductive health in the United States means more research on sexual behaviors, although biomedical research such as that on relationships between the public may be useful solution to the difficult reproduction health problems facing this country are more likely to be found by investigators of social behavior science. Many current intervention programs do not have realistic, careful designs evaluating components built into them. So basically what they're saying, Trailblazers and Blazerettes, is that the United States don't want to show commercials about using condoms and contraceptives because they feel that it may make kids want to do it more. In reality, they should have it on damn near every commercial to prevent you from getting pregnant. So the more you see the condoms, the more you see the contraceptives, it'll make teens who decide to have sex use protection so they won't get pregnant. Every other country is lower than the United States because the United States, we ain't teaching. That's why I'm here. Our whole system is trash. Nobody's teaching, man. I am the teacher. I am the new leader. I'm going to say that again. I am teaching. I am the new leader. I'm the only one talking about this, man. Ain't nobody talking like what I'm saying, man, on this No Felonies channel. It is important that the outcome be measurable and that the program be designed such that the outcome in the study group can be compared with those of control groups, similar in every way except for the intervention, the definition of goals, participants, and the method used for making comparison, all needed to be precise for research finding to be considered valid. Such programs will stand a better chance of replicating successful and funded equity. If providers were willing to scrutinize their work closely, if researchers were able to evaluate the interventions precisely, and if schools and other sources cooperated by making available the data needed to be performed such evaluations. The effect of youth employment projects on teenage sexual behavior and in childbearing. In part, that means making the postponement of having a child a stated goal, such as a project. How and what to extent special programs to improve school performances are effective in keeping teenagers in school, boosting their achievement, and averting pregnancies. And the effect of offsprings of a living family stated by an adolescent pregnancy, especially in those children growing up, such research should control for relevant background and medicating factors. The relationship between early parenting and childhood development, how many adolescents give up their infants for adoption, and while they choose this method to resolve their pregnancies. There are currently no systematic collection national statistics on adoptions, the attitudes of adolescents, males towards, and knowledge of reproduction and birth control. The connection between what young people know and how they behave. Programs may be quite effective in raising the level of knowledge about reproductive behavior without having much impact on that behavior. The effect of the parental communication and supervision of the sexual activity of adolescents. Although sexual activity amongst adolescents in the United States is on a par with teenagers in other industrialized countries, this nation has become higher rate of teenage childbearing and abortion. The reason for this phenomenon are diverse and not completely defined. However, some are known. The lack of contraceptive use in the United States among many sexual actual teenagers, the burgeoning poverty rate, and the damaging disadvantages that accompany it, the widespread exploitation of sexuality in the media, coupled with a reluctance to show sexual responsibility, and the routine of birth control, and the unwillingness of many segments of the U.S. society to discuss sex frankly. Researcher Elise F. Jones has noted politics and religious leaders in this country appear to be divided about what their goal should be to discourage sex among adolescents or concentrate on reducing teen parenthood by promoting contraceptive use. Many programs designed to reduce the incoincidence of teenage parenthood have been undertaken with unclear results. More projects with well-planned research components are needed to demonstrate clearly what does and what does not help adolescents delay sexual activity or avoid pregnancy. Most often, an unintended birth to a teenager limits her education and her job opportunities until we are able to break the patterns of behaviors and the economic deprivation of effective intervention program. Teenage parenthood represents a serious threat to the economic vitality of this country. Trailblazers and Blazerettes, I'm going to say this. Don't have a kid, man, until you at least 30 years old, until you at least got the money. I don't care if he say he love you and you love him. Don't have no baby if you can't take care of the baby. Like, you ain't financially right to even have you a baby yourself. You ain't even grew up. You haven't even grown up, and now you having a baby. You messing your whole life up. Trailblazers and Trailblazettes, do not have no kids until you 28, 30 years old, till you got your career. You got to have money. You have to be set up to have a kid. You can't have a kid and you're a kid and you don't have money. Now you're looking for your mother and your father to help you. Your life is just going to go downhill. Most likely you ain't going to make it. Most likely you could be on welfare. So don't rush it. And even though he say he love you, tell him to prove it. Say, we'll see. Just stay with me. You see what I'm saying? That's the game I got for you, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. No babies. Coming from Mr. No Felonies. No kids. No kids. Trailblazers and Blazerettes. No kids until you 28, 30 years old. Got your career. You got everything established. You got money in the bank. you're married. That's another thing. Don't have no kids unless you're married. That's what I would say. If he don't marry you, he can't make you have a baby. That's how it should be. He's got to marry you first. Then you can start a family. But don't start no family if you're not married, because now you're playing. He ain't serious. If he ain't serious, Blazerettes, you don't be serious and carry his baby, because he ain't serious. So if you take anything that I've said today, Trailblazers and Blazerettes, I want you to listen to Mr. No Felonies. Go to high school, graduate high school, go to college, get out of college, get you a job, get you a husband, and then you have children. Not before, because you should have dreams. Forget a kid. Your kid is the dream. Have your dream from the beginning to the end. Once you get your dream, once you accomplish your dream, and you got the money, then when you marry, then you can think about having a kid. Don't throw your life away, man, for some guy who may not even be there, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to say that again. Don't have a baby with somebody who may not even be there. Only have a baby if y'all married. That's the best thing I can tell you, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. Before I go, y'all know, saving one kid at a time, man. No kids. No babies, Trailblazers and Blazerettes. Use protection. Use condoms. Protect yourself. There are diseases out there. Trailblazers and Blazerettes, I really need you to listen to what I'm saying, because your life really may depend on this. This can alter your life. That dream that you have, you may not make it if you got a kid. From A to Z. If you got a kid, it's going to be really hard. You're going to need a support team to help you with the kid. Don't do it. Wait until you're 28, 30. Wait until you're married. Wait till you get out of college. You got your whole life to have a kid, man. Don't bring no kid into this world if you can't even take care of yourself. Because if you can't, now you're going to be on welfare. It's going to take you a while to get off it. Even if you do get, just don't do it. From Mr. No Felonies. Saving one kid at a time, man. Your teenage years dictate your future. The things that you do as a teenager can have an astounding impact on your adult life. You only get one life. Ain't no remix on it. Make positive decisions, make smart choices, and stay out of trouble, saving one kid at a time. I drop new videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Follow us on all social media platforms. NoFelonies.com. Follow us on Instagram. NoFelonies, the number 1. Follow us on TikTok at NoFelonies. As the curtain draws to a close on this week's episode, Trailblazers, we've only scratched the surface of thrilling journeys ahead. Join us next week as we delve deeper into the realms of knowledge, where hidden revelations, unexpected twists, and life-altering insights await. Brace yourself for the next episode that promises to redefine the narratives and leave you on the edge of your seat, hungry for the revelation that will reshape everything you thought you knew. Don't miss out on next week's episode. The plot thickens and the adventure continues. Screaming no felonies. Screaming no felonies.
realest. I love this feeling. Every day we do whatever we want. Can't front. Yo, I love this feeling. Getting dressed, getting fly just to go to the studio. Hey yo, I love this feeling. Hey yo, tomorrow I'm juicing. Juicing for the rest of the week. Just cause I love this feeling. And Big Bro got his ankle brace and took off today, yo. Getting on the private jet. I love this feeling. Yeah, I love this feeling.
Years to go from here to the absolute upper echelon of masculine performance on the most well-known, respected people on the planet. You've led the same 3 years, the exact same number of hours, and what have you done with them? What have you even achieved? You might be in the same job, in the same house, with the same girl, driving the same car. You've done nothing. That should upset you. You should feel sad about that. Because it's only when you feel sad about what you've done that you're going to feel enough regret to go through the pain it takes to be massively successful. Imagine where I'm going to be in 3 years from now. Think in 3 years from now where I'm going to be. You have the same number of hours in the next 3 years, you and I. And I'm going to crush you. And it just makes me sit and wonder, if I was you, I wouldn't be able to accept that. I wouldn't be able to take it. It would bother me in my core.
I see why he's the people's champ. All over, anywhere we went, it was real love. Like, they wanted to know him, they wanted to touch him, they wanted to meet him, they wanted to take a picture with him.
Always love, bro. You already know. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, you inspired through the music, through the fashion, but then when you see him and the way he embraces you, and you get the love, and you're like, wow, that helps. That adds on to everything. Because some people and artists can be kind of standoff, you know, they do what they do, but then when it's time to embrace the people and be in the community with the people, the less fortunate ones, they kind of rub them off. But Nip was in tune to that. That's what made him the people's champ.
Man, you know, I be juggling. You know what I'm saying? I juggle a lot. I play a lot of positions. You know what I mean? So my mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, that's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. I just think about that. Like, this shit ain't supposed to feel comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. And you gotta, you know, wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch some wisdom off of that.
But your light outshines these people gossip and slander. Okay, God don't play about you, boo-boo. Whoever you are, straight up. Alright, you a star seed. You're not even from this motherfucking planet. Alright, you just here to fulfill a destiny or purpose, and you getting the fuck on and you going back home. Period. That's what I'm getting.
I know you don't understand how I'm running my YouTube, Mom, but I gotta scare these kids. I gotta scare them straight. So I gotta show them the cuts. I gotta show them if you get in trouble, that's what's gonna happen when you go to prison. And those little cuts that you see on the faces, that ain't nothing compared to not making it home, being dead. Because they trying to stab people up with a lot of big things. They trying to poke people. So my thing is, letting these kids know I gotta show them it graphic. I can't be holding their hand. I really gotta show them, put their hand to the fire so they'll know not to do it.